All right. Welcome to episode whatever number of After Bedtime with Stevan and
Kelsey.
And her damn timers. This lady has so many timers, and she is the least punctual person I know.
That's not true.
It's not true.
I am the most punctual.
We are doing our podcast a little different this evening. We're doing it kind of webcast style here. So if Kelsey seems distracted, it's because... Or awkward, it's because she's staring at us on the screen in front of us as we record it. But I wanted to... This is kind of a Stevan experiment to try to make the post-production process a little less... difficult? No. Not less difficult, but quicker to turn around. So... being that today is December 30th, 2020, and this episode will likely be published on December 31st of 2020, this is going to be our last episode of After Bedtime ever.
No, 2020.
We are officially ending the podcast. You heard it here first, folks.
Because we can no longer sit this close to each other and communicate.
And not break out into a fight.
I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking.
What, man?
I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking.
You can look at me, or you can look at the camera, or you can look at the screen.
Okay.
Either one's fine. So this is going to be our best of 2020, kind of like jumping on that whole trend of don't put your foot on my chair, please. I'm just kidding. You put your foot on my chair. It's cool. You can always put your foot on my chair, babe. That's totally fine. So this will be kind of like a 2020 recap episode because that seems to be what all the cool kids on the interwebs are doing. All right, so I think the best place to start is, do you remember how we opened the podcast, the original episode of our podcast?
No.
It was very important to you. No, the way we opened up our podcast was basically talking about like the year ahead and what our goals were for the year ahead.
That's kind of scary.
Actually, I don't know if that was our first episode. It may have been like our second or third episode.
Really important to you.
Anyways, I know though at some episode we talked about goals that we had for this year. So I thought we should start off by discussing how did we do on those goals for the year.
I don't remember what I said.
Okay, so I have two things to share on this topic because neither do I remember what I said, and it seemed like it would be too much effort to go back.
So were you just hoping that I remembered?
No.
Oh,
I kind of like I've been thinking like, do I really want to go back and like write down every goal and like actually I didn't want to do that. So the big one that I will report on is we paid off your student loans.
Woohoo!
That was one of the ones that we named in one of our episode about the 2020 goals, and we did that. So that was a big one.
That was an annoying one.
An annoying one, an enormous one.
Because I don't have anything for it. So we paid money for nothing.
But you have experience. And now you can gift that experience to other people who may want your advice.
To not tread water unless you know what you're doing.
That's good advice. Maybe better advice would just be don't go to college, but that's a little bit more polarizing.
Some people should go to college. It's just other people shouldn't.
So that's a big win. I mean, that's a big financial win, a big physical win, less stress. And yeah, so we continue on our paying off our debt journey.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody counsels you that when you're 18 years old and you decide it's a good idea to go to college, that you're going to be mortgaging the next 10 years of your life after college for the 4 years that you're in college.
I'm pretty sure my mom just paid off hers.
You know, I do have to say there is.
I guess my mom got hers a little later.
Got
her education.
There was a guy at the gym, like not at my gym, but like at the gym where I worked out at and where we worked at for a little bit. Do you remember Martin Tuari?
Yeah.
Okay. So Martin, people don't know who Martin is, but he was this very wise, sage old man who...
Don't call him an old man.
Not an old man, but a wiser elder statesman.
That makes him sound old. He's not an old man.
because I was complaining to him about this one day about college and debt and loans and things like that, and he did offer a wise piece of advice, which is, in theory, and granted, this is where it kind of breaks down because it is all hypothetical at some point because you don't know what the future holds for you. But his point was, because you went to college and because you got a degree, there will be more doors that will open up to you. And theoretically, somebody who has a degree should, from the time they start working to the time they stop working, should earn significantly more each year over year than somebody who doesn't have a degree.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, for what it's worth, I guess there is some benefit to that. But you also could get a degree and end up working at the same job for many years and not make more money.
Yep.
So I guess it just depends.
I also think that now life is shifting.
Yes.
Like, it's not necessarily your college degree that puts you up higher. It's your talent.
Yes. And that is a topic for another podcast.
Just riffing.
Actually, I'm pretty sure we've talked about that on our podcast before.
I don't know what
Refer to episode 10. I don't know if that's the right episode, but maybe they'll go back and listen to another episode now. What? I'm out here hustling for viewers and listeners.
I know. And I'm just here.
Awkwardly staring at yourself.
It's just these whites have caught my eye. I can't stop looking at them.
It's okay, babe.
It's just like she's got a little
You still look hot to
racing
me.
stripe.
All right. Okay, so moving on. So you didn't have anything to share though on the goals part though.
I don't remember what I said.
Okay. So my other thing, I said I had two things. My other thing was I remember saying that one of my goals for 2020 was I wanted to ride the Peloton like every day, and I pretty much hit that goal, except for I basically wrote it almost 6 out of every 7 days because I always took Sunday off. So yeah, good job, Steven. Clap it up.
And I wrote it over 100.
Great, man. Good job. All right. Okay. So next 2020 best of 2020.
I just think it's funny that you're like saying the best of 2020. Like especially with the goals. 2020 has slapped everyone's goals in the face.
A lot of people, but I feel like we've made a lot of progress.
I'm not saying that people haven't made progress. I just don't remember what before COVID Kelsey was thinking.
Oh, yes. I get that. I
have
that. It's
no
almost
idea
like
what your mindset was
may have shifted because of COVID. I get that. You know, though, I have to say, Coach Buck used to always tell me that my superpower was that I didn't have bad days. And I feel like as bad as 2020 has been for a lot of people, we've turned what you would call like a quote unquote bad year into a rather good year.
Yeah, we've had a good year, thankfully.
But I get what you're saying in terms of like being able to look back.
I just don't know what new to 2020 Kelsey.
You're basically in that group of people that's like, my goal for 2020 is to
survive,
make it to the end of the year. All right. So what will you remember most about 2020?
I guess our more family time.
Also, I just want credit. These show notes have been part of my meeting invite for this recording session.
I did not know that.
Weeks.
I did not know that.
Somebody does not read her meeting
I just
invites.
see the invite.
You didn't read it.
I just saw yes and clicked.
This reminds me of the toy that the toy that Cal got that you thought was supposed to be put in water and it would grow?
No. The people who gave it to us said it would.
My mom and David.
I don't remember who gave us it.
And it also reminds me of the shower bomb from the other night. You have a habit, I think, of like
I skim.
And it reminds me of Amazon purchases where it's just like just like flash, you like read like one sentence and you know everything about everything on the page.
That's not true. I just don't always read the descriptions, and then when it comes in, it's like this big, or it's like this big.
Well, sir,
it throws me off.
You are not prepared for the questions because
I'm not a sir.
You, ma'am, are not prepared for the questions because you did not prepare because I had the questions ahead of time ready.
I'm not techie, and I didn't realize that these were attached.
It's okay, babe. I still love you. Still love you, babe.
I'm an old 29-year-old.
That's all right.
Elder millennial.
Actually, I was thinking about that the other day. So someone on
Am I considered an elder millennial?
No. Someone on the radio said that millennials are anybody who was born from like 1985 or 1987 to 1995 or 1993. I think it was 87 to 93 was what they said. Is considered millennials.
I've looked it up like
How is
4
that
different
possible?
times.
How can someone that was born in the 80s be in the same generation as someone that was born in the 90s?
I know, but I feel like every single one
or
of
maybe
those
it was
is
maybe it was 1981.
I know, but when you look at Uncle Brad, do you think he's a baby boomer?
No, but I would be willing to argue that the world in which Brad was born, meaning he, at the tail end of the baby boomers, versus the world in which the earliest baby boomer was born, were very, very similar in a ton of ways.
I'm sure people could argue that. I don't.
I think
I don't even relate to my actual close age group of millennials.
I don't think it's it doesn't seem like, okay, let's take it more extreme. Let's just say that what I heard on the radio was a 15-year time span, right? So someone that's born in 1985 is in the same generation as someone that was born in 1993, which would be true because somebody who's 10 years older than me would be considered a millennial, and I'm considered a millennial. So
that's saying that Lane's not a millennial.
Correct. He's like on the other side of the millennial cutoff, I think, or just at the millennial cutoff.
But if you said if it goes to 93, that's you.
Well, I know, but I don't get too hung up on the exact dates because I can't remember exactly. But it was like it shocked me because it was like a 15-year time period that spanned the early 90s with like the early 80s. And so that made me think like, so you're telling me if we're to use that same generational like time frame, you're telling me that someone that was born in 2000 is in the same generation as someone that was born in 2010? That's nuts. The world of 2000 versus the world of 2010?
That's what I'm saying, is that
it doesn't make sense.
It can be argued in multiple cases. I don't think that
like in 2000 the iPod didn't exist, or the iPhone didn't exist.
I don't think that the labels should span more than 10 years or even 10 years.
That's where I think I disagree because I feel that earlier.
Then what are you saying?
I'm saying that in earlier years, the generations could span longer periods of time because the difference of what the world looked like and the way the world operated was relatively the same many years in a row versus today where even from 2000 to 2010 is a giant leap in terms of.
So you're saying now
the years need to
now it needs to be shortened.
That's my opinion. I
know, but that's why on TikTok they tease it that there's elder millennials, there's millennials, there's 3 different versions of millennials.
Man, we've gotten so off on a tangent here.
I'm not on a tangent.
You always say
I'm still
things.
trying to figure out where I need to look.
I don't know if this is going to be any better of a format. I just thought, let's try it. It may make the
I
editing
like
easier.
it. I like it. I just
I feel like maybe I need to hide the screen. So what will you remember most about 2020? Because I got you off.
I think our family time. Stop stealing my ice.
It's so good, babe. So good.
Then we need to just order those. I think we have gotten more family time because of 2020.
So 2020 will be the year of family time.
I mean, for us. But for us, little,
That's what
like our little unit.
I know.
Family.
I'm not asking for like the world. I'm asking you.
Yeah.
That's how you'll remember it.
More family time. You got a new job. Like, I didn't do much. So I don't.
No, I like that. I think that's good.
I think those are the only things that kind of stand out to me is the new job, paying off my student loans.
I said what will you remember most about 2020, but since now you've opened the door up to multiple things.
What I remember most is it's those main two. It's the job and the family time.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, I heard this quote from a show that I've been watching the show's called Your Honor. It's on Showtime. And one of the characters says, "Rules are like donuts. There's holes in them." I love that.
I like that. We need to get
which is totally how you look at the world.
100%.
You know, it's funny. One of my personal training clients, who's a lawyer, and she used to say like something to the same thing, was basically like, everything is negotiable.
Yeah,
that's
find the loophole. And my parents will be like, "Yep."
Well, okay, so
agree.
What I will remember most about 2020 is so the most important one will be the job change. That will be the most significant. Are you trying to be attentive to me?
Yeah. Trying.
I appreciate it. Are you having a hard time not looking at yourself?
Yeah.
It's so awkward.
Really, we probably should have just labeled this podcast awkward.
Oh, okay.
So people know what they're getting into.
I think you're always afraid that people are gonna revolt at your awkwardness.
No, I hope that people will be like, oh, "Me too.
I found my people." So that will be the first one, making a job change, and then I guess tied to that, maybe 2021 will be more of like the year of the move. That's what I'll remember most about.
That makes it sound like it's so bad. The move.
The year of the move.
Like you know how like the chapter, whenever the beginning of The Mandalorian, it's always like chapter,
but
and then it says the name.
Like a lot of, what? What, man?
Go on. Because what I'm saying makes no sense to what we're doing.
The Mandalorian on the title screen.
I was saying like when they're like chapter 13 and then they'll say like whatever the title of it is.
Yeah,
but the way you made it sound is like 2021, the move.
Well, if I was to write a book, it would be like 2008 to 2011, chapter 1. The early years, and then
that's a big span.
That'd been like high school, our high school years, like through my high school years. Mm-hmm. And then the next chapter would be probably like the college years, and then the next chapter is like what we're in right now, which is like the family time because we got married and had kids.
I know, but like I feel like
now
some of that stuff should have like their own like little chapter.
We can argue about the structure of our life story later. Oh my gosh.
I think this lighting is so harsh.
What, Ben? You're not supposed to be worried about the way you look on the screen. It's a webcam. Give me a break. My second thing. Then the other thing I was going to say is the year of podcasting. Because I've done a lot of podcasting this year.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, you have.
You've done more. You have 2 podcasts going.
Yes, But one of our stated goals was to do a weekly episode of this podcast.
We failed on that.
We did. We took a long hiatus break, which kind of took us off pace. But if you count the number of episodes we did make, this will be the 27th episode.
How do you know that?
Because I do keep count.
You just don't want to sound like a nerd in the opening scenes.
I don't want to sound like a nerd, babe. Episode, I count everything. Episode 27, that would mean that we've done just over one every other week. So we're about 50% of our goal, which isn't horrible, considering. So a lot of podcasting.
They're going to be like, what else were you doing?
Year 2020, the job change / podcasting. All right. Next one. What was the best thing that happened to us in 2020?
I think your new job.
I would probably concur with you.
That was so weird. Why'd you say it like that? It kind of scared me. I'm like, he's going to say, I disagree.
You were like, he agrees with me. Oh my God. Tell the press, stop the press. Gotta print new front page.
Tell the press, stop the press.
Well, like I guess I just recently figured out that when people are like, stop the press, that is like as if there's been...
You're gonna drink all of this.
I can buy you sparkling ice, woman. Well, I kind of realized recently that like when someone says like stop the press, that's because it's like there has been breaking news.
Yes.
The newspaper has already gone to print.
Yes.
But they need to stop the press and issue a new paper to print it before the...
Have you not watched Newsies with me over and over?
I don't like that movie. I don't like it.
I'm sorry. What?
What did you say? No, I'm just kidding. I do like that movie,
Now
but
maybe.
I haven't paid attention enough.
Who are you?
What was the best thing to happen to us? You're distracting. What's the best thing that happened to us or you in 2020? Getting a new job. And my second one was paying off student loans.
So we keep talking about the same two things this whole thing.
We're consistent. I think not necessarily because not because of that. It wasn't one of the best things because of like that, of doing that thing. It was one of the best things because it's just another brick in the terms of like getting our legs under us more and putting us on more sturdy ground, which is good to me. Okay, what's the worst thing that happened to you in 2020, or to us, or to you in 2020?
I don't know.
You don't have a worse one? I've got one.
Wow. You're already locked and ready to load.
Yeah. I think the worst one that happened to us this year was not being able to send Cal to preschool.
I don't think that's like the worst thing.
To me,
I'm upset that he is missing.
Well, I think maybe maybe I should say it's the worst thing for us, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that significant of a thing. But I'm
just saying as a whole of 2020.
Well, I mean, COVID has been bad. Like, I get it. COVID's been bad for the world and for the U.S. But for us, it's relatively been I hate to say it's been a positive thing, but relatively we've yet to be significantly negatively impacted by it. We knock on wood, we've not lost any family, thank God. We didn't lose it. We haven't lost jobs or incomes because of it. We haven't experienced, thankfully, a lot of the negative side effects of it. And in some cases, we've actually kind of like had things break our way because of it. And so, thinking of like the worst thing that's actually happened to us this year, that was actually like a byproduct.
I would say then our kids missing out on multiple things. it's not just Cal not going to preschool. It's they didn't get any holidays with their families. They didn't,
that was that holiday season.
Cal had to spend his whole entire fourth birthday. I mean, like, his fourth birthday was fine. He was happy.
I feel worse.
He didn't get a big, huge party.
I feel worse for Kyler because he spent like his whole second year, or was his whole third year of life, just basically in a house,
quarantined. Yeah. And I feel bad that Cal is missing out on preschool, like a legit preschool. I mean, I know we've done stuff here to try to prepare him.
My worst thing.
Well, I didn't say one, so
now you're stealing.
And I also think I feel bad that because Kyler was gonna finally kind of get just me alone.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about. Was the first one is because
he's missing out on that.
The first one was Cal not going to preschool is unfortunate because I was just looking for, because I feel like Cal is going to very much love the social component of school. And so I was very excited for him to be able to be in a setting where he could have that social interaction with other kids, like immediately his age, and he could start having some of those friends and establishing that relationship. And it was unfortunate that he didn't get to do that, because you can tell like he really does want to interact with people and talk to people and engage people, and he gets that from us, he gets that from his grandparents, his families, but it's just a different thing when it's somebody else your own age.
Yeah. And I've also seen that with Kyler. This past year, Kyler's become a little bit more confident in his little personality. And whenever he sees kids that are his size or his age, he's just like he's almost gonna just hug them.
You took all your extrovertness and shoved it in him.
He's not extroverted though. Like he will become extroverted in an environment that he is comfortable in, but for the most part, he's more of a shy personality.
And then the other thing that made that kind of a worse thing for 2020 was what you said about, it was like an opportunity to kind of have Kyler be able to be at home, by himself with you, and just because Cal got that for like 2 whole years of his life. Was basically like he only had
more of just being able to be the one that kind of dictates the day. Like Kyle takes so much control all the time, and I think it would be good for Kyler to kind of build more confidence in that category.
So thank you, COVID, for that. Gosh, COVID is so overrated, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's annoying. I'll be glad when it's gone. Although I don't feel like the vaccination effort is going very quickly.
I don't think it's going to be as quick as what they were promising, no.
Maybe it'll be better when Joe Biden gets in there. I don't know. I feel like it needs to be more coordinated. It needs to be more systematic. And
did you see that?
It feels too ad hoc at the moment.
A whole bunch of vaccines that have just been sitting in the county near us because they're waiting to figure out how to distribute it into the 2 counties that it's supposed to go to. So it's been sitting there for a week.
It's great project management right there. All right, so moving away from 2020 and now looking forward into 2021. So we're going to end the podcast on kind of an exciting, good note. What are you most excited about in 2021? This may be the shortest podcast we've ever recorded, too.
I can keep talking.
So, what are we or you excited about in 2021?
I'm excited. Like, I don't know. A lot of it is like a double-edged sword because, like, I'm excited to move, but I'm also, like, scared because I've never done that. I mean, we've been living in the same duplex for, like, 8 years. So, I mean, we don't change a lot. I don't deal with change very well.
Are you going to have an anxiety attack right now?
No.
Should we stop talking about it?
No, it's fine. I'm excited because I'm excited to be closer to that half of my family. Whenever I get around them, it makes me very, very happy. I
but
love being
the
with
family
them.
here doesn't make you happy.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, you may want to hedge your bet there.
No, I was going to until you were like, yeah, what about this side? No, I love this side too, and it makes me so happy, but I have always wanted for a very long time to be closer to my dad, and I finally get that opportunity, and it makes me happy.
Well, I have unfortunate news for you.
Stop it. You keep doing that to Cal too, and Cal's getting sick of it.
I have unfortunate news for you. The company has told me that I don't have to relocate now, so we can stay here. Yeah.
First off, my dad would be like right in that person's office and be like, you go back and you tell him that you lied.
No,
I am excited for that.
Is that what you're most excited about?
Yeah. I'm excited for Colorado in July.
Oh, yeah.
So excited.
I didn't even think about saying that one. Yeah, I'm very excited for that trip. Although I have to admit, like my excitement around vacations is actually a little bit tempered after our last experience, because we really don't do anything on vacations that are different than what we would do here with the kids now that we have kids. So it's kind of like we just basically do our normal life. But
I disagree. I just think we went at a poor time to be able to actually do anything.
It's just like the kids are too little to...
No, if we would have went in July, you would have gone mountain biking multiple times.
Yeah, but like I almost like even now thinking of like going back, like I don't even know if I'm that interested in doing that, because I want to be with the kids. I want to do things with the kids. It's just...
See, but this is the thing that you fight all the time. You fight this all the time. Of actually taking your own personal time.
No, but
doing
I
things.
really... The thing is like it's not like a negative thing. It's like I want to be with the kids. I'd much rather spend time with the kids. The unfortunate thing is that they're just little right now, so there's not a lot of things that we can do with them that is together that is like different than what we would do at home. Now, I
think it's 1,000 times better, because Colorado is beautiful and my whole entire family's crammed into one house.
Okay, yes, I'm not taking away from the family time or the beautiful scenery. It's just when you're thinking about it, like
I know, but that's the thing is that that's what I enjoy. That's the parts that I enjoy, that we're all crammed
I'm more of looking
into
forward
one house.
to when the boys are like 12, 13, 14.
So they can go mountain biking with you.
Yes, so we can go outside and do stuff and have adventures.
We did have adventures. We went to all of those different parks. And
that was fun.
I just also think that they were both so little then that it made it even harder. But they're sturdier kids now.
We can just push them down them slopes.
Yep.
What else? What else are you excited about?
Well, I mean, I'm excited for the vaccine.
Yeah.
Of actually getting it. And not having so much worry of if I'm going to be one of those people that doesn't bode well. I'm
not that terribly excited about moving.
I know you're not.
It's and not because I don't want to move or because
it's the financial part of things.
It's not even the it is that's part of it, but also part of it is just I'm actually really enjoying life right now. Just the way life is right now. And so I know once the move comes, that's going to be a whole different way. Like it's just going to be different.
I know, but you do,
and
it
may be better
every single time. Anytime I'm the same way. I'm not a big, huge fan of change, but you tend to be like, no, we're in a routine. Let's not mess it up.
Most of the time, I'm like, yeah, on to the next thing. This is exciting. But I guess this is the first time in my life where I've enjoyed. I'm in.
That's nice to know.
It is, but I mean, in a sense, it's like it's the first time.
It's the first time I've ever enjoyed my life.
It's the first time I can look at every area of my life and be like, I'm satisfied and content with every area.
Now it's time to shake it up.
Yeah, exactly. And so now it's like I'm gonna take the thing that where everything feels good and I'm satisfied. I like the progress I'm making. I like what I'm doing, and now we're gonna have to refigure it all out. And so that from that standpoint, that's why I'm not terribly excited, because it's like, oh, are we gonna move into this new stage of life, and I'm gonna be back to that feeling of not feeling content with everything.
I think we're gonna be fine.
But I am excited.
We always end up fine.
I am excited in terms of the move. I am excited for, I am excited though for like the challenges that will present. Like that
just
does
kind
excite
of excited
me.
for a change of scenery.
Change of scenery. I think it's just overall it's good for our family.
I also feel like up there's a lot more active of an area. There's a lot more like.
Are you gonna get active, baby?
Yes, I am. There's a lot more sidewalks. There's a lot more parks. Like I just feel like
it's okay, babe. You don't have to you don't have to guilt yourself into what.
I'm not guilting myself. Places. No, I'm saying no. I'm not gonna walk myself places. I'm just saying that there is more. I would go walking with the boys if we want. Like if there was sidewalks near our house. Like I always wanted to do that when Cal was like a little baby. I just didn't know how to do it. That's why me and Jordan would just go to the Mercy walking and walk there. And then COVID hit and ruined all that.
COVID. So what I'm most excited about in 2021 is maybe I'll just leave the audience hanging. I'll have to come back for the next episode.
Why? We're not even that long into this.
The thing I'm most excited about in 2021 is having only my student loans hanging over my head. Because I know, like, in the, at least, like, possibly in the first or second quarter, I will get our van paid off, and that will be the last thing that's standing between me and being debt-free is my student loans.
Until your wife wants to shake it up.
Sorry, no, there's no more money for you.
We'll see.
So that's our 2020 recap, and that's what we're looking forward for 2021. Oh, I'm looking forward to doing more podcasts with you, babe.
Ooh.
We're gonna have to figure out here's something I'm looking forward to in the move.
You didn't hear my snarky comment.
What'd you say?
I said I'm not.
Why? You don't want to do more podcasts?
No.
Should we just end it?
No, I'm joking.
I do though. I'm looking forward in the move if we have a little bit more room to have a better
setup
podcast studio. That makes it a little bit easier to record.
We're gonna have just more room in general. We're bursting at the seams.
We only use like 900 square foot of this place. No, we probably use this is probably 1,000 square foot place, so we only use 200 square feet of this place. Our family is
That's because we don't.
Our whole
have
family,
any
the
room
four of
to
us,
go.
is just hip to hip.
I'm
everywhere.
saying that eventually they're not gonna want to be around us anymore, or I'm not gonna want to be around them,
or you're not gonna want to be around me.
Well, we've already established that, and I like more space. I've been wanting more space since Cal came out.
I know that, but that's the thing is you're not going to use it. I just know it. I look around at our place now and I'm like, nobody uses all this space.
We do.
We fill the space with crap, but we don't actually use it.
What can we get rid of?
I'm not saying we can.
What can we get rid of?
I'm not saying that we can get rid of stuff. What I'm saying is we fill the place with stuff, but we really only make use of a very small amount.
Might change if we had more space. And it wasn't so cramped.
All right, we will be back again. This is our shortest episode ever, but maybe that's fitting to wrap up 2021. It looks like the file size is ginormous.
We could just keep talking.
I think we should wish everyone a great 2021.
You just want to stop talking.
Yeah, I've shared my piece on 2020. I'm ready to. I'm ready to close the book on that year. It's been a good year. I've shared my thoughts about it. I've shared what I'm excited about for the year ahead. Good to go.
I'm excited that there's an Andes in Olathe.
That was probably part of one of the requirements of where we live, wasn't it? All right. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's Eve and a wonderful New Year's Day. I hope your guys' 2020 wasn't terrible. Maybe it wasn't great, but I hope it wasn't terrible. And we will see you in the new year.
Happy New Year. Have a good night.
2021.
Here we come.